Sebastian, let's start at the beginning of your life. What's your earliest memory? Tell us about your childhood.
My earliest memory? My earliest memory is being in the Bahamas, Freeport, going into my backyard and seeing a starfish on the sidewalk burning.
Burning?
Yeah. It's just hot out. It's Bahamas. You know?
How did you come to be? You were born in the Bahamas, right?
Right.
How did you come to be born there? What were your
You'd have to
folks
ask my
doing?
parents that. I'm sure there's kind of a story there somewhere. But,
were they traveling hippies or
yeah,
something?
Yeah, my dad taught art at a school there called Mary Star of the Sea. And my mom was over there. Actually, the way my mom met my dad is pretty funny. He was on top of a speeding car. My mom was a nurse at the time. And he was on top of a speeding car, and his friend slammed on the brakes, and he hit the pavement doing about 40 miles an hour. And my mom had to pick the pavement out of his face.
Oh.
Then I was born. 9 months later.
So your parents were hippies, right? Can we say that?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Did you grow up with their music? I mean, did you have that like pounded into your head?
Yeah. I can remember watching my aunt and my mom make French fries, singing, "Let me stand next to your fire." You know, all this stuff. You know, what is that? That's rock and roll, son. Or driving in a van, listening to my dad sing, "This is the end," not realizing the lyrics. "Father, yes, son, I want to kill you." Dad, what is this all about?
Jesus.
That's Jim Morrison, boy.
God.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Did you rebel against this eventually? I mean, say, God, the '60s stuff is, because for a long time that was like everybody.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird. To the rest, you know, to my friends, I seemed like a rebel, but in my own family, you know, like my dog's name was Lennon, after John Lennon. I'm named after John Sebastian. My sister's name is Heather Dillon, after Bob Dylan.
Wow.
And so to me, it was kind of like, you know, not really rebelling against my family, but, you know, going to school and seeing the way all the other people lived and stuff. It was, yeah, it was different. I went to private school. You know, you used to have to wear like a green lapel jacket and stuff, but I was the only kid there with a Motorhead button on the lapel, you know.
I can't picture you in a jacket like that.
Yeah. Oh.
So this is in Canada, right?
Right.
Did music arrive there pretty regularly? I mean, is it like one big continent here and you're hearing exactly what you hear in the States, or was it a little...
We heard about 3 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they seem to, you know... They get the American music, but what I can't figure out is why doesn't America get Canadian beer?
By
seems like an
Molson's
even
here,
trade, you know? It's watered down, though, Kurt.
I know. They have to do that for import. Were you, when you were a kid, were you like, parents planning for you to be like, you know, a vet?
My dad wanted me to go to Juilliard. He always knew that I'd be a singer, and he wanted me to go to Juilliard. I remember he took me to a pizza place, and I had to tell him that I was, you know, going to start playing bars at the age of 15. Really excited about that, you know.
He wanted you to do an oratorio.
He said, no,
or
I'll
right?
pay, you know, you go to Juilliard, you become a... I go, that's not rock and roll, man. You know, how can you raise me on Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and then send me to Juilliard? It's the opposite.
That's a good question. What did he say to that?
He understood. He gave me $40 a week to take vocal lessons. I took vocal training for 4 years. When
did you realize that you had this voice? I mean, was there one day you opened your mouth and this thing came jumping out?
I was a lead soprano in church choirs when I was, you know, a youngster.
Really?
I used to sing Latin. Requiem in aeternat Jose Jesu Domine nostrum.
Not bad.
Yeah, I used to sing all that. I used to sing lead soprano in...
Just Catholic Church or High Episcopal
Anglican.
or Anglican? Anglican,
yeah,
okay.
I was Anglican. What is that, anyways?
Church of England.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was. And I used to sing lead soprano.
Were you a good soprano?
Well, I was the lead one. I was the best in my bunch of 12. I used to get paid $8 a month. I thought I was just like, oh, wow.
Big time.
I can get 2 Kiss posters a month. But I love that kind of music. It's very emotional.
When did you start getting into bands? I mean, do you remember when your first band was?
Yeah, it was at private school. I was singing in the shower one day, and I was singing a police song called "Walking on the Moon."
Mm-hmm.
And
in the shower. Okay.
Yeah, one of my buddies heard me, and he said, "Why don't you sing for our band?" And I go, "I never sang, you know, in front of, you know, people like rock and roll before."
Yeah.
You know. Then I did it, and suddenly, you know, the tall, geeky, greasy, pimple-faced guy that nobody wanted to talk to suddenly had tons of friends. You know, I said, "Hey,
it's a miracle."
Yeah. I said, "This is a pretty good job." You know.
Did your parents cry for a year? Or?
Nah, they didn't like exactly kick me out of the house, but I said, "Dad, I'm gonna be a rock star." "Not in this house." I said, "Okay, see you." You know.
So you went out with this band or joined another band?
I joined another band in
and
Toronto.
What was their thing? What were they called?
They're called Kid Wicked.
Kid Wicked.
Because I was 16. I was a kid. And we used to play bars and stuff. Nobody would sign us up there because Canada doesn't really sign like heavy metal bands. Were
you supporting yourself all along?
Yeah, I was singing beer commercials in Toronto at Sounds Interchange, the studio.
What kind of beer were you promoting?
Schooner beer. It's a Canadian one. Sounds Schooner, eh? Can I have a beer? I gotta go out. I gotta go. But I used to do that. I thought it was like, you know, had a real good thing going there. Singing beer commercials, getting paid for it.
Good bucks, right?
Yeah, you did get paid quite a bit doing that.
You could have made a career out of that.
Yeah, maybe I still will. But yeah, that's what I was doing, and I was getting a lot of like offers to join American bands at the time, but I was just really happy, so I didn't want to. And Skid Row sent me a tape, and I was going, oh, man, I hope this really sucks, you know, because I don't want to leave doing this right. Put it in, and I heard Youth Gone Wild, and I go, God damn it, it's great, Jesus! Now I got to make a decision, you know. But the more I listened to it, I said, man, that is some serious music.
What had they been doing for a vocalist heretofore? Before you
Rachel was singing.
Oh.
She's got a good voice, good punk voice.
Yeah.
We did Psychotherapy by the Ramones, I was telling you, that's going to come out. And he sings lead on it. He can sing punk a lot better than I can. You know.
Was he unhappy
Psychotherapy! Me doing it, kind of weird, you know. I don't think vibrato has any place in a Ramones song.
No,
you know?
No, it doesn't.
So I said, Rachel, you do this one, man.
Jesus.
But so I came down, met them.
So Rachel wasn't put out by you coming in and taking over the lead vocal duties?
No, because he can't sing 18 in Life. Well, you know?
Fair enough.
But I came down here and we played in the clubs for, 3-4 weeks before we got signed. See, it wasn't an overnight success. It took at least 3 weeks, you know.
Just like me. I said, hey man, there's something you want to know. And I'll tell you, Park Avenue leads to Skid Row. You're not to go. 18 and like you're driving. 18 and I feel your crime is time. And it's 18 and life to go.
When the Skid Row started out, what did you have in mind doing when you made records? I mean, did you want to sort of blow away the stuff that was on the charts already?
No,
did you think you'd get that far?
Not at all. We were, you know, this was a quote that I used to say back then. Excuse me. We were just happy to see our record go vinyl, let alone gold. You know, that's a dream of any musician to have like, oh, here's my record. You know, that was my dream at the time.
But, I mean, did you look at the stuff that was really selling and say, you know, that's really sucks?
We didn't do that. We looked at the music we liked. I mean. Yeah. People say that our first record sounds more, you know, commercial than our second one. I kind of see it as a younger band. You know, I was 19 when I recorded that record, and 23 when I did this one. So, that's the way I see it, basically.
I mean, it hasn't mellowed out or anything, though.
Our music?
Yeah.
Not at all. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Did you? Do you manage to resist temptation on the road at all? I mean, do you ever go just nuts out there? You don't, right?
No, I don't.
So you don't buy the just say no sort of thing?
No. I kind of realized last year I used to talk about drugs and drinking a lot more than I do this year. But, you know, I would get a couple letters by people that liked our music saying, my friend took 10 hits of acid and was in a mental asylum because of you. So I kind of went, wow. Maybe I think I'll shut up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? So the lifestyle hasn't changed, but my mouth has.
Yeah. The guys in the band, do you have to sort of work on your relationship, or has everything been pretty smooth? I mean, everybody understands that, you know, what their position is.
At the beginning, because of the way this music industry is set up, it's like, I'm sure people don't, you know, like rock bands don't realize this, but who's ever single gets released, gets money, and who's don't doesn't get anything. That's fair, isn't it? You know, you know, and all that. What we did with our second record, we said everybody is equal. Yeah. You know, and that way you focus more on the record as a whole in the band than you know, your own personal interests. So that took care of a lot of stuff, and the attention that I had got as a frontman, you know, at the beginning was kind of strange. But
in what way?
Well, just because, you know, they want to be in the front, you know, obviously, you know. But I think every band goes through that.
Yeah.
So, you know, as you get older, it kind of goes away.
Yeah. What are these guys like? I mean, what's Dave like? What's Rachel like? Had you ever met a guy named Rachel before?
Not a guy. No, I hadn't.
What sort of name is that?
A girl's name.
Well,
I call him Sophia Loren sometimes. But
why is he named Rachel? I've never been
I don't
able to
know, but
figure
it was
that out.
really cool because when I heard their tape and they sent it to me, you know, they put a phone number in there and I called him up and I said, "What's your name?" He goes, "Rachel Boland." I go, "Wow, heavy name." You know, Sebastian Bach, Rachel Boland. Baching and bowling, rocking and rolling. I can see it now, you know.
Just another name. Huh?
But no, he's very into punk and Mark Boland.
Yeah.
So.
And Dave?
Dave is a Kiss. He's a New Jersey guy. Dave is New Jersey, walking New Jersey. You know?
What is it about this state that produces so much, whatever it is? You know?
I don't know because I'm not from here, but it's a very honest. It's not like when I go to Hollywood or something. I like it, you know, but in small doses because it's, you know, an incestuous scene. Everybody follow, you know, but here there's nothing going on, so I think it's more, you know, the song. You know what it is? Out here, people concentrate a lot more on songs and songwriting on the East Coast or in New York City, and there they concentrate on image.
Yeah, very true. It's the Hollywood thing, I suppose.
Yeah. I still like it, but I think that, you know,
Kind of like middle class or like a blue collar thing. You know, you can't. You really have to get out from a. Do you know a lot about that yourself? Do you think? I mean, you're not really from a working class family, are you?
Well, I can remember, you know, like school and stuff. Anybody could relate to that too. But to me, it has a personal meaning of the music industry because you're expected to, you know, put out this kind of music to get on MTV or have this person write it and play this. Excuse me. Do you want to take that question again?
Just start at the beginning of that. That would be good.
Okay, yeah, it has a personal meaning to me because in anything that you do, you know, as your job, you know, and this happens to be mine. Don't feel like it, but you're expected to just basically regurgitate what you did the day before if you work at the factory, or the album before if you're in a rock band.
Yeah.
You know, and if you allow yourself to become a slave to what people expect, then what's the fun? You know, that's not what rock and roll's about. So that was the meaning of it originally within the band. You know, you can't be a king of the world if you're a slave to the grind of the music industry. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
That's because that's totally the opposite of the spirit of rock and roll, which, you know, I was brought up on. Then we realized that it could have connotations to, you know, everyday life, 9 to 5 stuff. But that was like after the fact.
But I'd rather tell this story from my start, 'cause I won't be the one left behind. You can't be king of the world if you're slave to the grind. Tear down the red rings and slain. You can't be king of the world if you're slave to the grind.
Did we get all the guys in the band? We didn't get all the guys in the band. We better mention them all, I think. We talked about Rachel and Dave. And,
Right.
I mean...
Scotty is
Very nice guy, I'm sure.
No, you know what's weird is that people talk about, you know, getting busted and all that. He went through some real weird times last year where he was in serious legal trouble for violent activity, but it was all covered up. So we have a publicist to cover up stuff instead of make it up. You know, there's a big difference. You know, and
what had he been doing?
I'm not going to say. It's up to him. I keep telling him, dude, tell it. You'll get on in USA Today or something. You know.
Didn't kill anybody or anything, did he?
No, but he again, it's like when you read that kind of stuff, the latest, like you say, and latest in the heavy metal jail file, we have this, and it's just, I go, I feel like puking. You know.
Did you? What was the trial in Worcester like for you? I mean, was that just the world's biggest hassle? First, you have to wear a suit.
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, you know, when you go to jail, you know, it makes you think.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, all this like, that was just an emotional reaction at the time. You know, because at the time I didn't have any distinction between playing an arena and playing CBGBs.
Yeah.
And if I was playing CBGBs and I did that, Kurt Lodder wouldn't have been talking about it on MTV, you know, because it didn't matter. But if you know, you can't do that. You can't jump in there and kick somebody's ass. You know, I'm not going to do it again.
No.
If it happens again, I'll just like, you know, walk off the stage. I mean, I'm on probation right now for physical assault, and if I punch, you know, one more person, that's it. No more Skid Row. You know, so somehow I really don't think that's worth it.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're reining yourself in.
Control your demons tour. That's what I call this. Control your demons. Come out, you know. Get down. Get down, boy.
Monkey business, I'm a tramp. Monkey business, ain't your business. Monkey business, monkey business, ain't your business. Through every endless day, I wanna be saved.
Let's talk about this AIDS shirt, because I think that's pissed a lot of people off, or angered a lot of AIDS activists. What was going on there? You show up in a photo wearing a shirt that says AIDS kills fags dead.
Right, right. Well,
surely there's a story there.
I mean, this is, you know, it won't seem, you won't believe this probably, but at the time, I swear, I did not know that anybody gave a flying whatever what it said on my chest. You know what I mean? That was like the introduction into responsibility for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, actually it really hit home because one of my friends is a homosexual in New York, and a really, really good friend.
Yeah.
And he just let me know exactly what it meant to him, that shirt. And I felt like, you know, Fred Flintstone in Mr. Slade's office. Shaking down in the chair.
What, did he call you up and explain that? Like,
No,
this is
he
really
got
bad?
me backstage, and he was mad.
Yeah.
You know, and he had every right to be, because a lot of his friends died, and that's not cool making fun of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Where did the shirt come from?
It was thrown to me on stage. I didn't even know what it said. I put it on, and it's sort of, you know.
So it doesn't represent your
No.
sympathies. Along
No,
those lines.
I mean that's, you know, there's nothing funny about death. I ever
No.
said that.
Do you think things have maybe gone too far and everyone's
You know
losing
what? You
their
know what
sense of
also
humor?
nailed it home was walking down the street and having a 12-year-old guy in a Skid Row shirt come up to me and goes, "Hey, I hate faggots too."
Oh.
And I went, wrong. You know, that's a very wrong vibe to put out to people.
Yeah. So you think more about these things,
Oh yeah.
I would imagine.
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
Jesus. The optional song on the album, Get the F*** Out, sort of takes a bad view of like groupies, I think.
No,
don't
it
you?
doesn't. It's like Spinal Tap.
Yes, it does.
The
Come
guy
on.
gets it in the end.
No.
I get it in the end. It says, "The morning coming, and this is my bed. If you find me here when I wake up, the maid is going to find me dead."
Right.
But I mean, we knew that. We knew that everybody was going to say that. It was so predictable, and so, you know,
Well-
everybody was going to say that. But we said, man, it says right in it also, "F you if you can't think a joke."
Well,
And if so, you know, I mean, it's about a guy that treats a girl like dog dung. See, I try to, you know.
Think TV.
But then she murders him. Like, if they thought this one was weird, wait till they hear the next one.
is there stuff left over that are you already working on stuff?
Yeah, yeah. You gotta. I don't want to give it away, but I'm writing a song about where I am right now and kind of what I'm feeling, called the Dark Age. Yeah.
Sounds like a very up number.
Yeah. Fun for the whole family.
You're not a depressed guy, are you? I mean,
No, but see, I focus it. I used to think it was, you know, I used to express my anger by booting out that window or beating somebody up or, you know, doing a big pile of drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I say, that stuff is like kid stuff. That's kid stuff. That's like generic, you know, trash in a dressing room or whatever, you know. If you could focus that into your music and people could put it on and hear that emotion through what you do on record, then that's what it's all about, you know.
So you don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Well, I do, but I don't talk about it.
Wisely.
I
I'm
try
sure.
to control your demons. Control, you know.
Do your folks come to your shows? I mean, have they witnessed
Yeah,
the,
I had to kick my
Skid Row?
dad out of the show the other night.
What was he doing?
Imbibe? Yeah, he was just getting a little gnarly. He's a bit aggressive.
Times have changed when the bands are kicking their parents out.
Yeah,
think,
I like that though. I like when he comes and lives vicariously through me. Because if my kid's in a big band, I'll bet I'm there, man. Yeah, that's my boy! You know, forget hitting the home run in Little League. Go on stage in LA Forum, man, you know.
But you decided not to. You were told, I guess, not to tell people you had a kid. But now,
Yeah.
now you've come
I
out
mean, it was,
and said you had.
You know,
right?
there's something really, really strange when you respected, like, the people that like Skid Row respect us for being, like, honest about everything, you know, and playing music that is honest and, you know, not a big scam or a big front or anything.
Right.
So I found it very hypocritical when I would have my son out to see a show that I would have to go in a different door in a hotel than him. And I said, this is over, man. I don't care. You know, they said, oh, but all these chicks, you know, they really dig you. And I go, they're not stupid. You know, they don't want to be, like, treated like a bunch of idiots.
No.
You know, I think that people underestimate the intelligence of rock fans. They figure, like, the people at record companies figure that they want to hear the same song written by the same guy with the same lead solo, with the same chorus, with the same lyrics. You know, and every front man is a rock hunk, and you know, he's in doom metal stud monthly, you know, and you can't have kids, can't be a human, you know, all this stuff. People are people, man, you know.
Who decided to name him Paris Francis? Interesting
I did.
name.
I did, because Maria's dad's name is Francis, and he wasn't the biggest Skid Row fan, you know, at the time.
Really?
And I go, man, got to do something to kind of get it in there with him, you know. So I said, give him middle name Francis, and what is the perfect name to go in front of that? Paris. You know. You know, I didn't want to give him a name like Joe Smith or anything, because I remember when I was a kid, my name was Sebastian. I'd come home from school, and people go, what kind of a name is that and stuff. I go, Mom, I want to change my name to Joe. She goes, someday, son, you'll realize that you'll enjoy that name. And I got in the band, they go, what's your name, Sebastian? You know, it's very cool.
But
It is not. Yes, it is. It is not. Yes, it is.
But you had to change. Your last name is Birk, right?
Yeah,
Birk?
Birk.
Birk.
It's Norwegian, B-I-E-R-K. I had to change that because it rhymed with jerk.
Oh. So are you plagued by fans here at all? I mean, this is pretty remote where we are.
Sometimes, yeah.
How do they find you?
I don't know, man. I get calls from, like, Alabama and Texas and
How do
Japan.
they find your number?
I don't know. All you hear is this. Sebastian there? Who's this? Click. I'm like, ah!
So you change your phone number a lot.
Yeah,
I
once a
guess.
week.
Jesus.
Well, I have a goofy line upstairs and a good line down here.
What's a
So-
goofy line?
We give it to the goofy people.